Hey, what's up? It's Obi. I'm here at the burial place of Rabbi Meir Balanes. I drove up here with Rabbi Dror. And sometimes when you're in America or you're somewhere outside of Israel and you're sitting there at your kitchen table or your living room or wherever it is, and like you hear stories about the Bible and it sounds so far-fetched and crazy. And like you hear stories that, oh, they saddled their horses and they traveled down to Egypt and they laid their camels up with food, and then they went to the castle to see the king. And it seems like so far-fetched, and you're like, come on, a castle, like nobody lives in a castle, come on. But here we are. Somebody lives in a castle. It's locked. I tried living there. It's locked. But it becomes so much more real here, and you see, hey, like, this stuff does exist. A couple months ago, I was by the grave of Samson. He's the one who destroyed the entire Philistine army they were in a certain castle, or I'm not exactly sure where, some sort of building. And he ripped out the two center pillars that were supporting the building with his bare hands. He ripped them out, and the entire building collapsed on him and the entire army. And he passed away, but the entire army was destroyed with him. And it's some like folklore, some fairy tale, like Hercules legend, that he ripped the building apart with his bare hands. But then you go and you see his actual grave, and that's where he's buried, and it's on top of this beautiful, beautiful mountain, and you can see miles and miles around, an incredible view, and he's buried there on top of this mountain. There's a little cave there, and there's a tombstone that says Samson. And he's a real person. He's not just, and you sit up and you learn about it in class or something, and it sounds so far-fetched, and it just sounds like some old school, old-fashioned story. And then you come into these places and you see them, and you're like, wow, they were real people. A couple months ago, I was by a certain, I don't remember where I was, but I saw a grave there, and I asked one of the people I was with. I said, hey, who's buried there? And he said, oh yeah, that's Dun. I was like, oh, who's Dun? He said, Dun, the son of Jacob, one of the 12 tribes. And I was like, whoa. And it hit me, and for like 10 minutes I was just thinking about that they were real people, and that's where he's buried. He's buried right there. There's a grave. It's in a really old building, and they're real people, and it strikes you like a little bit when you're here. It becomes so much more real. It becomes so much more real when you're here in these places. And also, we just had Hanukkah, right? So the place where the Maccabees where they used to live, a place called Modi'in. I used to spend Shabbat there all the time, and that's where they used to live. That's where Judah Maccabee and his family is from. This settlement of Modi'in, there's tons of people live there now. It's real. It's a real place. It's not just something from the Hanukkah story. And also the place where they used to train before battle, where they used to go and they used to pray for 3 days and they used to train before battle. That place is called Mitzpeh. It's like it's not too far from where I live. And it's a real place. That's where they used to go. That's where the Maccabees used to go. And when you come to Israel, like everything is the Bible becomes so much more real. So much more real. It becomes less of like a crazy fairy tale. And it becomes more of like a real thing. And you start to see, you're like, wow, these are real places. These are real people. You know, when you're sitting in your house, you're sitting in your car, in your leather seats, on your iPhone or your BlackBerry, and you're thinking about these stories, and they sound like so far-fetched, and you're like, come on, and you look outside in your driveway, and you see your BMW sitting there, and you have your lawn, and the streets, and like, you're holding whatever you got, right? And it seems so far-fetched, and you go to the 7-Eleven and pick something up, and then you go to Walmart, and it seems like it can't be real, but when you're here and you go to places like this place is incredible. And you come and you see places like this, and it becomes so much more real. So much more real. So anyway, I just wanted to share that with you guys.